Well, hello BAME farm fans. Lasso, really? Really, dog? Really? You having a shitty day, huh? Just laying on a pile of cow manure? Granted, he's on the oldest section. That's from like late last fall. It didn't get spread. It is a wonderful mid-February day, and my fluffy dog thinks it's a great idea to sleep on a pile of manure. I don't get it. I guess it's warming up because it's dark. Is that yours? Are you guarding it? Nobody's gonna steal it. I'm gonna take it and go feed some worms out in the field, dog. Okay, well, let's get in the skid steer here from the new GoPro Hero 9 Black that replaced the Hero 8 that glitched a bunch. So let's give this a whirl and see how it does on my head in here, whether we can hear me talking or not. I know the skid steer is going to be loud. I got my earplugs in. See whether I have to do a voiceover to replace my talking, if I can even hear myself through the editing or not.
Well, here we go into fast speed. That obviously means that we really can't hear me talking over the noise of the skid steer, which skid steer is very loud. Sitting in that cab, it's just a noise box. And you'll see me spinning around here on the concrete, having lots of fun. I mean, the skid steer is fantastic on manure-covered concrete. Like, it just gives a little bit of lube, and there's less friction, and I can spin around like a carnival ride almost. And now there I'm pointing out the aged manure, that how nice and black it is, like black gold. Yeah, spin around on a skid steer. You know, I thought it'd be fun. You could, like, entertain your kids on the farm with it. Definitely not OSHA approved. Definitely not. You know, kind of like how people will take an excavator and go by a pond and spin it around and make like a giant rope swing. Similar concept, right? Except there's no pond, so nobody jump out. I don't know how many scoops this takes. This is actually the first clip that I filmed with the new camera. The opening clip of the video actually came later, but I put it first just to have all that, you know, great action up front to satisfy everybody's, need for having everything right now.
Well, it's not a load unless it's overloaded, thanks to the slop gate sides. You can pile it on there good. And we're using the 1086 today because the TW is in the barn behind us, getting covered in bird poop, so it's already poopy enough. And, well, trying to keep that one a nice tractor for as long as possible. And I don't necessarily need the four-wheel drive to spread manure today. There's been a couple iffy moments. But we made it. What got me was the fact that the manure spreader was half full and all the weight was in the very back. And I had no tongue weight. Now let's roll.
Okay, so I have an interesting observation. Watch the bottom of the screen. The camera's permanently mounted on the cab, and we're right above the one flasher light on the back of the 1086. And you can see it, like, you don't see the same amount of flasher. And I figured out kind of what that is. That's the camera, like, adapting with its smooth anti-shake feature built in, like to how it smooths out videos. So it's following the manure spreader. It's picked that as its focal point. And, it's moving the frame around. So it looks like the camera's moving on the cab of the tractor, when really it's not. It's permanently mounted. That's today's fun fact. Time for music. Now, typically, I spread a pass of manure for every 4 rows of corn. Since the stalks are still there, I can still count out 4 rows of corn. So that's roughly every 12 foot. Now, the spread pattern is a little weak, but that's why we do some tillage, and that'll help mix the manure around and spread it out slightly more evenly. And I always turn the PT off on turns, because it sometimes will chatter at me, because I'm turning really tight to go right next to the pass. Now for the last minute of video, I will list off some facts, because y'all watched to the end, and I will finally impart some knowledge. This is a 680 manure spreader made from 84 to 1990. I was surprised it was that new. I figured it would have been earlier in the 80s, which it could have just barely overlapped in time with the L775 skid steer, because it was made from 73 to 84. That's a good 10-year run. Now, and then the 680 manure spreader was replaced by the model 185, which all it was maybe a change in paint scheme and a new number. Nothing really changed between the two. And that was a 180 bushel. And the 1086 is, I believe, a 78 model. So, a nice 1980s party on manure we just had.